Well, the show wasn't exactly known for its stellar continuity. Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Glee plot holes and inconsistencies you never noticed. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at plot holes, story inconsistencies, and contradictions regarding the character personalities or motivations found throughout Glee. Number 10. The Glee Club's popularity. Have you ever noticed that the Glee Club's popularity wildly fluctuates from season to season? In A Night of Neglect, the club encounters great resistance when trying to round up people to attend their benefits concert.
Hell, is this even music?
Kiss my ass!
I can't take this!
I can't take it!
However, back in the first season, they managed to secure a full house for their fall invitational. But it's not just inconsistencies in audience numbers. Reactions to the club dramatically vary as well. Sometimes the club receives cheers and ovations after performing, both on stage and off.
I'm addicted to you. This is your way of it!
Don't stop doing that! Don't stop doing that! Yes! Yes!
Other times, they are relentlessly heckled or met with great indifference from the students.
We're doing the song this Friday at the pep assembly.
In front of the whole school?
Exactly.
They're gonna throw fruit at us.
It's almost as if it depends entirely on what that episode's specific story entails. Number 9. Special education. We can chalk this one up to a simple joke, but it's still an inconsistency, damn it. Way back in the second episode, Sue gives Will a list of McKinley's special education classes so he can find recruits for the Glee Club.
I also took the liberty of highlighting some special ed classes for you. Maybe you could find some recruits. Because I'm not sure there's anybody else who's going to want to swim over to your island of misfit toys.
It's a funny joke that was quickly forgotten. However, Sue later runs for Congress and mentions that there is no special education program at McKinley, contradicting the list she gave to Will.
You know what public school program is the first to go into recession? Special education. There's special needs kids at McKinley, yet there's no special ed classes, no special ed teacher.
Either this was a joke not meant to be taken so seriously, there was never a special ed program and Sue just made it up to annoy Will, or her remark was a false statement made for sympathy. Number 8. Figgins approved songs.
Forever, forever, you'll stay in my heart and I will love you forever and ever.
In the same episode that Sue gives Will the list of special education classes, Principal Figgins gives Will a list of pre-approved songs that promote family-friendly values, recommended to him by his pastor.
You kids can only perform these pre-approved musical selections.
But all these songs have either Jesus or balloons in the title.
Quinn then performs I Say a Little Prayer with the Cheerios, and the list and the restrictions are never mentioned again. In fact, not only is the list entirely ignored, but the New Directions try to sing religious songs in Grilled Cheeses, only for Figgins to deny their right to do so, explicitly contradicting the list he received from his pastor.
Children should be allowed to profess whatever faith they choose.
At the BET Awards, but not in a public school.
We guess he forgot about the family-friendly values? Number 7. Ryder quitting Glee Club. We can chalk the previous entries up to jokes or plot necessities. However, there's simply no forgiving or overlooking this one. In the 4th season finale, All or Nothing, Ryder dramatically mentions that he will be quitting the Glee Club after regionals.
After regionals is over, I'm officially leaving Glee Club. I'm sorry, Mr. Shea.
And wouldn't you know it, he never actually quits. This would obviously be fine if the show explained his character development, but we never received any indication that he had changed his mind, that he left and later returned, or that he made up with Unique. We were just supposed to forget about it and pretend it never happened. And we did. Number 6. Finn's desire to leave Ohio. Another character inconsistency is Finn's deep connections to Ohio. Throughout the early seasons, Finn seems committed to living a simple life in the state.
Bring him along. He'll be great if we need to move anything heavy.
Finn won't come. He's too much of a country boy.
Rachel calls Finn a country boy when discussing life in New York City, and Finn shows contentment working at Bert's auto shop as a laborer.
You know, you're really talented. Talented enough to get into NIADA if you applied.
What if I don't want to? I mean, and not saying that I don't, but to stay here, work for Bert, I mean, would that be so bad?
There seems to be no indication that he desires to leave Lima, or even Ohio. However, in the 3rd season episode The First Time, Finn becomes upset when Cooter doesn't choose him for the Buckeyes, and shows outward disgust at the thought of staying in Lima forever.
I don't understand what any of this means.
It means I suck. It means I'm gonna be stuck here forever. Cooter's not gonna recruit me.
Which is it, Finn? Number 5, Quinn's big plans. Here's a tip for future showrunners. If you have a character say that they have big plans, it's best if you actually go through with them instead of dropping the idea altogether. Near the end of the second season, Quinn ominously tells Finn that she has big plans for their New York trip. And this isn't like a blink and you'll miss it type thing. It's the final foreboding scene that leaves the episode on a cliffhanger.
If I quit Glee Club, my big plans for New York would have been ruined.
What plans?
You'll see.
And while in New York, Quinn does absolutely nothing. Oh, that's not exactly true. She goes for a haircut after opening up to Brittany and Santana.
I just want somebody to love me.
I think I know how to make you feel better.
Was that her big plan? Cry and get taken out for a sympathy haircut? Number 4, Kurt and Rachel's finances. Newsflash, living in the heart of New York City is not cheap, even with roommates. Rachel and Kurt live the high life in New York. They live in a killer loft. They begin dressing with impeccable fashion, and they fly back to Ohio like every other weekend. And just where exactly are they getting the money for this? They don't regularly have steady jobs, student loans don't cover that, and we seriously doubt that their parents are giving them $1,800 a month for rent plus living and travel expenses.
This place is enormous!
For $1,800 a month, we could get a shoebox in Manhattan or this hangar in Bushwick.
So how exactly did they afford that apartment? TV magic? We'll go with TV magic. Number 3, the Glee Club has no budget. And for that matter, just where the hell is the Glee Club getting their money for all these elaborate showstoppers? A major aspect of the show is that the Glee Club, and McKinley High for that matter, doesn't have any money.
We're barely surviving on the budget we have. Slashing the Glee budget by 10%, cutting our transportation to and from events is like cutting our legs off.
The club often resorts to raising small amounts of money themselves, and McKinley certainly isn't shy about keeping the arts on a shoestring budget. So just where exactly does the club get the funds for all the outfits and costumes, sets, Broadway caliber light rigs, and rain machines? Maybe from the same place that Kurt and Rachel get the money for their Vogue-esque New York lifestyles. Number 2, Quinn's injury.
Good thing is that I'm starting to regain feeling. So with a lot of physical therapy and your prayers, I stand a good chance for full recovery.
In the episode On My Way, Quinn runs a stop sign while texting Rachel. Don't text and drive, kids. And gets into a horrific car accident. She suffers from a badly compressed spine and is confined to a wheelchair. The injury is so bad that she has very little feeling in her legs and is uncertain if she will ever walk again, despite her optimism.
Believe it or not, this is the happiest day of my life.
5 episodes later, Quinn is up and about at prom and is back to her normal dancing self with no time at all. We're not doctors here or anything, but it seems like an awfully short time to recover from such a debilitating injury. Before we get to our top pick, here are some honorable mentions.
You know, this last week I've been thinking, maybe we shouldn't have broken up. Maybe it was premature.
She did Grease.
Grease?
Yeah, I know it because the song I auditioned for Glee Club was from Grease, remember?
Yeah.
Number 1, Rachel's Broadway dreams. Rachel's dream of becoming a Broadway star is like the key component of her character.
I had it all planned out. I was gonna make it big on Broadway and maybe do a Woody Allen movie.
Besides possibly her obnoxious diva behavior, her passion and ambition towards making it on Broadway is her single defining characteristic. Hell, Finn even calls off their wedding so she can go to New York and become a Broadway star.
You're gonna get on that train, okay? And you're gonna go to New York, and you're gonna be a star. Without me. That's how much I love you.
And while she lands a dream role in Funny Girl, she quickly abandons Broadway for TV, burns her bridges with Broadway producers, and moves back to Ohio.
What am I supposed to do?
Do what everyone who just failed miserably does. Blame everyone else. And then go home.
Sorry, but what? The Rachel of seasons 1 to 4 would never do a thing like that. There's character inconsistency, and then there's simply dropping almost 5 seasons worth of character development for seemingly no reason whatsoever.
For 18 years, I've had one dream. Broadway. Stardom. It was like the wings that kept me hovering above the fray.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from MsMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.